What's up, folks? Welcome to Pizzas and Park Hops, episode number 7.
7. Did you ever think we'd get this far? 7?
No, I really didn't. When we got the first one off the ground, I was amazed.
Yeah.
So here we are, number 7. I'm Brandon. This is my co-host, Chris. He's here, just like every time. I mean, he keeps showing up, you know.
I do keep showing up. I'm not sure why, but
well,
we're here again. Another week, another big show coming, and it should be a good one too.
We got a different one on tap for you today. We had the trivia last time, and I tell you, I didn't do too well.
No, you didn't.
But I'm going to get some redemption next time, I think. So we're going to see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that rolls. But on this episode, we're going to talk about something that we've all experienced at the Disney parks in one way or another. And we're going to call this one Disney Transportation. How you going to get there?
How are you going to get there? How are you going to get where?
Anywhere on Disney property. So, we're going to take you from the airport anywhere to around the parks, anywhere, from renting a car, from riding your bus, from, taking the monorail, taking the Skyliner, taking the taxis, whatever, we're going to talk about it all.
Yep.
And then at the end, we're going to talk about our favorite, and then maybe we'll have an honorable mention or something here or there. I don't know.
So anywhere inside or outside the bubble.
That's right. We're going to, and there's going to be two. There's going to be two within this whole thing that's not owned by Disney. Okay. I'm just going to put that out there right off the bat, just so people know. Disney doesn't own a couple of these, but you know what? That's fine. Everybody else gets a little piece of the pie sometimes. So anyway, without further ado, let's get this thing going because we got a lot of ground to cover. I didn't realize when I started this exploration of Disney transportation how much Disney transportation there was.
Oh, yeah,
there's different forms. Have you ever seen that movie, Chris, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I have seen it once or 100 times, yes.
Yeah, I've seen it about 2,000 times. And, you can never get to where you're going on time, it seems. Even in the most magical place on earth, at Walt Disney World. So, without further ado, let's get this rolling. So I'll let Chris kick it off with one, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth, and we'll talk about these. Okay.
All right. So let's go with upon arrival. As you're getting off the plane at MCO, you're looking to get to your resort. I'm assuming most people will hit the resort first to get their bags out and get them checked in. So, there's a couple of different ways. The old way, obviously, the Magical Express, that's gone. That was a great system. For those people who didn't know, they gave
R.I.P.
To kind of exactly. To kind of summarize, they gave you yellow tags. You put them on your luggage at home. You checked them into the airport. You didn't see your luggage until they arrived. It was in your room, already done for you. You didn't have to go to baggage claim. You didn't have to do anything. You jumped on the bus. They brought you to resort. You go up to your room. A couple hours later, your bags are in your room. So that system is obviously gone.
Kaput.
But the company who owned the buses, Mears, kept the system going somewhat. Now it's a paid system, which isn't bad. It's $16 around $16 for one trip. For one way, $32 for a round trip per person, which isn't that bad. My whole thing is I know people who get pretty upset with the cost and things like that. And my whole thing, you go into Disney, a family of four for a week, you're spending thousands of dollars. What's another, $60, $100 on top of that just to make things easier. So I like Mears Connect. I've used it a few times now. The last time I used it, it wasn't that great of a scenario, but it was more or less due to the time that I arrived at MCO. I landed at 10:30. When I got up to the counter to check in, they told me I had just missed the bus to Pop Century, and the next one was coming, 45 minutes later. So I said, forget that, and I jumped in an Uber and went. So Mears Connect is a great system to go from the airport to your hotel.
Yeah.
What's your first choice when you're coming into Disney?
Well, to be honest with you, I'll go over this Mears Connect here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Just to throw out some stats at the time of this recording, I will say it like that, so that people don't get all googly woogly, when they, when the price changes, sometime. Anyway, a one-way service is $17.60 adult, includes taxes and fees, so that's not bad. Round trip.
Did it go up it went up from 16?
Yeah, it says $17.60. That includes taxes. So,
okay.
okay.
So that's a fairly new change.
$33.60 for the round trip. That's not bad, really, if you think about it. That's cheaper than an Uber. It really is. It's cheaper.
Yeah, if you're talking a family of four, an Uber is cheaper. But if you're talking, one person or even two people, a couple or whatever, $64 round trip. You're not getting an Uber both ways for $64 or $67, whatever it comes to.
Right.
Pricing, but yeah, I agree.
It looks like children under 9 or 14, 30. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what you were thinking. Maybe you were like crouching down or something. I don't know, trying to act like a kid. It looks like children under 3 are free, which that's a value right there.
Yep.
But they do have an express service, I guess, and they got a round trip. The average is like $250 for up to 4 people. So really, you're getting into a strange phenomenon there, or a strange deal there, because you could really get an Uber XL or an XXL, and it'd still be cheaper than that. So, if you go past 4 people, it's $55 additionally per person.
Okay,
which is kind of steep, if you think about that. So that's an express service. So I would say that's on demand service. So that's a little much. But I will tell you this: There is a way, Chris. I'm gonna put this out there. There is a way that you can get from MCO with your bags all the way down to Disney Springs. All right, for less than $5.
Really?
Yep, $2 at the current moment. $2
$2 per person
per person
with the bags.
with your bags included. Now, that's not going to get you to the parks. And that's not going to get you to your resort. That's going to get you to Disney Springs.
Okay.
To the drop off at Disney Springs. Now, I've done this. Okay. I was staying off property one time and I did this.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, late at night, I actually took like the last bus that it was going to happen. Okay. At night. And, it worked out. It worked out fine. It took a little longer. It did take longer. I will bring that caveat. It did take 48 minutes is what I think I clocked. But it was just $2. And it's the Orlando City Public Transportation, the Lynx Bus Transit, okay? And that you can get on their app, look up the route. It'll take you from MCO, right there, right beside the Mears, where the Mears buses come in.
Okay.
It's right in that same area. Okay, you get on the Lynx bus, and it'll take you all the way to Disney Springs. Now, there's several stops in between. Okay?
That was my question: is how many stops do they make between the airport and Disney Springs?
There's about 6 or 7 stops. Okay. In between.
And that's why it takes 40 minutes compared to
that's why
20 in an Uber.
That's why it takes longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wrote it, and it was mostly people from the airport going home.
Okay.
You know, the workers.
Yep.
And so it was $2, literally. And then at that point, okay, I took from there, I was staying off property this time when I did this. I went from there to my resort where I was staying, which was just about a mile away from Disney Springs. And the Uber cost me $6. So to go from the airport to my resort, now it did take me about an hour, roughly, hour and 15 minutes, coordinated effort here. It was about $8. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to try it because people were saying that it works, and so I wanted to try it for myself. So
here's my question to you. So you paid.
Would I do it again? Yes.
You would do it again.
If I was by myself, and I had plenty of time. It's late at night.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to be. You're just going to your hotel for the night. Heck yeah, I'd do it again. Yeah.
See, I don't know if I would for that amount of time. Especially, I think late at night would be even worse. Late at night, you're tired, coming off the plane. I just want to get in my room. I don't know if I want to spend.
It's not late. It was
an hour and a half on a bus and back and forth.
It was like 10. Yeah.
Now,
what you can do, and I will tell you this: what you can do, and you probably shouldn't do, but you're not really supposed to take luggage on the Disney buses. If you just had like a backpack. So on that trip, I just had a backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have like a bunch of luggage. I just had a backpack. So I could have passed on this, but I could have went through the Disney security, went into Disney Springs, and I'd say I was staying at a Disney resort, got on a Disney bus, and went to whatever resort I went to, and it would have only cost me that $2. Okay. Right. So, that's effective, right? It takes more time. It takes more time, but for somebody that is trying to save some money, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. I was doing that trip on the cheap, and it worked out. I mean, I wasn't like trying to skimp, Trust me. I just thought, well, I'll try it. I mean,
Give it a
it's
shot.
late at night, who cares, right? So anyway,
Now, have you ever seen the Sunshine Flyer?
Sunshine Flyer, yeah, yeah.
So I've never seen the buses. I heard they're kind of cool. They're dressed, I mean, they're painted with the trains and everything like that. That one's a little bit more expensive than Mears. Have you ever used them before?
No.
Yeah, it's basically like Mears. It's similar. I've never used them, but from what I've read, it's a very similar system to the Mears.
Okay.
But every time that I've been at MCO, I've never seen the actual bus. So I've never seen them there. So,
well, since we're starting out in this method, we'll keep up with the non-Disney forms of transportation. Okay, so the next one I'll discuss is rideshare. Rideshare is your Ubers, your Lyfts, your private limousine, I guess, whatever you want to take. And that literally is the only way you're going to come, unless you rent a car. That's the only way you're going to come from the airport onto Disney property. Okay. Now, if you're renting a car, I mean, that's going to cost you. I think I got a car rented for December. That's about $300. I think actually it was only about $250, but for 5 days, I thought that was pretty reasonable.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was a good deal. I use this app that kind of gives me a deal. I won't, promote somebody's app, but I use an app that, kind of gives you some deals. So, and I just so happened to be on there late at night and boom, got that deal and it was cool, but the last time I flew into Disney, I flew into Sanford on my way in. Okay. And I tell you, dude, it's kind of dire straits out there, man. I don't know if you've ever flown into Sanford, but it is a small airport out in the middle of nowhere, out by Daytona almost. And it was for me to get from the airport to the resort was $67
in the Uber.
On an Uber. Yep.
Wow. Now, do they have car rental agencies at that airport?
They do have a few.
Okay.
Like I said, your resources are limited out there.
Yep.
But I will tell you this. They also do have the Lynx bus transportation. But you got to change buses. You got to get on a map and look, and you got to change buses.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to try that, man. It was during the middle of the day, and it was like, I looked on this thing, and it said it was going to take me like 2 hours to get from there to my resort. And I was like,
God.
No. I was like, no.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was like, I think it was like 27 stops or something crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was some crazy amount of stops. Yeah. So, not doing that, so I and I'll tell you this is really crazy. Not to ramble on here about rideshare, but folks, do use your rideshare app inside the terminal, not out there by like where you go to do the rideshare thing, or like pre-schedule it or whatever. Because like, listen to this craziness. I was sitting out there on the bench, right? And right out there by like where the rideshare people pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And the price was like $90, right?
Really?
And I was like, it kept consistently coming up $90. I tried for like 10 minutes. And so I was like, man, this is ridiculous. So I walked in to the terminal, went to the little boys' room, and checked it right after that. And it was $67. And I was like, boom, I'll hit that number. But as I checked more and more, I found that it depends on where your geographical location is within the terminal as to how much that you're going to pay.
And this was coming out of Sanford?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's the same at MCO or anywhere else. You're sitting right there at the bench, right? It's going to cost you more when you're trying to plan it. So, a little pro tip there: do it while you're getting off the plane. And if you think you can get your baggage quick enough, do it.
Yeah, I got mine. Like I said, it was like at 10:30 at night. I think I got it out inside on the sidewalk. It was like $32. I think it was, and it was 2 minutes away. I clicked it, and I was there. Quick.
My transport back was only like 25. It was like early in the morning.
Yeah, I'm all about the ride share.
And it was back to MCO from the resort. It was like $25. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it wasn't like super early. It was like 9:00.
Yep.
Everybody else is going off to the parks. I was going to the tragical Uber ride back to the airport, which was kind of sad. But anyway, we won't talk about that.
Okay.
Anyway, rideshare is a good option. It's a good option. I'll tell you, to be honest with you, sometimes if you're staying in the All-Stars or in one of these value resorts and you're in the park late at night, like closing down the park.
Yep.
Sometimes that's your best option. Why wait in a line of people of, 50, 100, 200 people to get on a bus and have to stand the whole way, back to your resort when you can get it, walk over to, say you're at Magic Kingdom, you walk over to Contemporary, which is what I did on this last trip too. Walked over to Contemporary, got an Uber in like 5 minutes, was on my way, and it cost me about, I think it was less than $10. It was like $8 or $9.
Yeah, that's
I was like, to me, that was worth it. So sometimes it's worth it to take the ride share from the parks back to your resort at the end of the day,
Yep.
So rideshare comes in clutch sometimes, and a lot of people use it. If you, if your rides are averaging $8-10, a trip, sometimes you can skip the Disney transportation, but Disney has those free transportation options for everybody that's staying on property, or you're going you're park hopping from park to park, and that's where we're going to go from here. So Chris, what do you got on the next level?
All right, so we going in the bubble now. You're going in the Disney bubble.
We are inside the bubble.
All right. So you kind of touched on it, the buses. So obviously, the buses is what gets the most use out of the majority of people, just because it goes from, park to resort, and, resort to Disney Springs. Unfortunately, you can't, I'm losing my train of thought. So you can't go from Disney Springs to a park, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, you got to go from Disney Springs to a resort. So if somebody's, a lot of people try to do that, take advantage of the free parking at Disney Springs. They'll park at Springs, and then, you got to take a bus to a resort, and then wait for another bus to go to the park. So there is a way to circumvent the parking situation at the park. Take advantage of the buses. But yeah, the buses go everywhere. Unfortunately, when it is busy, like you just mentioned, it does, the lines get long. So they're good on a lot of times, in the downtime, they're great. I actually have a video from when I was there last spring. We were on a bus, me and my wife, and we were the only ones on the bus. Literally, we were the only ones in the middle of the afternoon. So, you can occasionally catch it like that, but for the most part, if you're going, the beginning of the morning, dinner time, leaving a park or closing a park, like you said before, the lines can get exceptionally long, and you could be waiting, 30, 40 minutes, almost an hour sometimes, on a busy weekend night.
Yep.
Do you use the buses a lot when you're there? 'Cause I tend to.
It depends. Okay. If I rent a car, I'm driving the car to the park.
Mhm.
I know that sounds kind of crazy. But even staying at a resort, it's faster than the bus.
Yeah.
I've found it's faster. Um, Now, sometimes I don't. I mean, I'll take a bus here or there. I'm not too good to take a bus. Let's try.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong here, okay? If I got my family and we're gonna finish out of the park, especially if we're gonna finish out of the park, okay? 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take the car, and the reason why is at the end of the day, when our dogs are hurting, and everything, everybody tends to be hungry, you know,
Hmm.
and they want to stop and they want to go somewhere and get a little bite to eat. Well, Disney food options are a ghost town, and so we like to hit that McDonald's that's over there by All Stars.
Yep.
And it's like the fastest or busiest Disney McDonald's, in Florida or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's good. Their service is good over there, so we go over there. So a lot of times we'll take the car. Now, if we're going, during the middle of the day and we're just going to the park, it's easier just to get on the bus, take the bus, to the park. But if then we come back in the middle of the day, but usually whenever we're going at night, we're taking the car, and then we'll
Let's just say you don't have a car,
if I don't have a car, I'm taking
and
the
you're
bus.
closing out the park.
Yeah, I'm taking the bus.
You take
Yeah.
the bus.
Now, depending on how late I am
Mhm.
in the park is really going to depend on whether or not and I just kind of gauge the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I start walking up to the line. If the line's 200 people long, I'm just going to walk or straight on past the line and go to the Uber. Okay.
Yeah.
If the line is 10 people long, I'll wait for the bus. So, there's all kinds of factors. I just kind of make a lot of split decisions in that moment. Uh, in the moment, for that. But Disney buses have their place. I really believe that. And I really like to take them to Disney Springs. That's an easy, man. It's so easy to take your
Mhm.
bus to Disney Springs Park. I mean, you don't have to park. You just get out of the bus. You just go walk right in, and you're not walking through a maze of security. You got one security that you're going through, and it's really pretty convenient when you get off the bus going through that Disney security. So, um, you know, yeah, I'll take the bus. I don't mind it. If I'm going to resort to resort, um, of course, I'm going to take an Uber, or
Yeah.
something like that. Um, most of the time.
Nice.
Buses don't go resort to resort. That's another
Right.
caveat that people need to know. Buses don't go resort to resort. So you're never going to catch a bus going from Riviera to the Polynesian. It's never going to happen. So that those are those kinds of situations where they'll never happen. So you got to figure out that transportation, and if you are going to a certain resort to go out to eat or something, you almost have to take a ride share to get there on time. Personally, I think unless you're going to go to a park, get off at a park and then go to whatever resort that is. So that can be very time consuming. You might as well figure an hour in transit in that
Yeah.
regard. Yeah.
Yeah. What we usually do when we're gonna close out a park, we'll let the crowds kind of subside a little bit. We'll kind of mill around. If it's for a Magic Kingdom, we'll go through the Emporium, kind of walk around Main Street a little bit, kind of wait for the crowds to go down, and then when we see it kind of really really thinning out, then we'll head out to the bus lines. Because again, you'll be waiting half hour, 40 minutes, so especially if you go right after the fireworks, everybody with the kids and the strollers and everything like that. It's an absolute nightmare. But going resort to resort, this is kind of going into the next thing we were going to bring up is the Skyliner. That's one of the biggest reasons why I stay at Pop Century so many times is because of the Skyliner. It's huge. I mean, that can bring you, to the Riviera, to Caribbean Beach. That can bring you into the Epcot area, right up to the boardwalk, to Yacht and Beach Club, and there's a lot of different options that you can do with the Skyliner to go from resort to resort.
Right.
I love the Skyliner. It's huge. And even on a crowded night, as long as it doesn't break down, it goes really quick. The lines move really really quick, and it's a nice thing. So it's a nice direct route.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my thought on that.
I pulled up some average wait time, some average travel times on the Skyliner. It was kind of interesting. So you're going Caribbean Beach to Hollywood Studios from that changing station there. That's a 5-minute ride.
Okay,
that's not bad.
No,
you're going from Caribbean Beach over by Riviera, so the Riviera station.
Yep.
And you're taking that to
that's even
Epcot.
shorter.
Yeah, but if you're taking that to Epcot.
Okay. Yeah, you're staying on at Riviera.
Okay. Right. You're staying on at Riviera. You're going to Epcot. Okay. 15 minutes.
Is it really that long?
Yep.
Okay.
15 minutes. Okay. So if you're going from Pop Century, Art of Animation to Caribbean Beach, it's 5 minutes.
Yep.
Not bad. Not bad. Riviera to Epcot, 10 minutes. That's a good, and that's a quick ride. Riviera, of course, Riviera to Caribbean Beach, 5 minutes. You're literally going from one side of the resort to the other, folks.
Exactly.
That's it. That's an easy trip. You could walk that, but why save some steps, right? It's fun. Sometimes it's fun to get my kids. They like to just ride it for fun.
Oh yeah.
We'll just get on there, ride it for fun. And so, you can do that. Riviera to, Pop Century and Art Animation to Epcot, 20 to 30 minutes. That includes the transfer station at Caribbean Beach, okay?
Yep.
So you got a little longer trip, but do you have to get in the car? No. Do you have to get on a bus? Nope. That Skyliner is pretty good in that regard. Now, I will tell you this. In the mornings, it's the absolute chaos. They have a line, trust me. But the line can be forever more. And so you really have to think about what time you want to get in the parks. If you're going to do early entry, you better be in that line for the Skyliner early. You better not be wasting any time in the morning. No Mickey waffles or anything like that. Get your butt in line to get to the park.
Yep.
Because it's going to be a long line, and it is a long one.
Yeah, if we going at Pop, I remember to do the early entry at Epcot, we got to the line at 7 a.m. because I believe that's when it starts, 7 a.m. It was already coming down off. Anybody who's familiar with the area, that the line comes off the bridge between Pop and Art of Animation, comes up and around and towards the 50s section. Mm-hmm. So the line was probably, I want to say probably 100 yards long.
Mm-hmm.
It was long.
I've seen it.
But it does move. You know, it does move as
Right.
long as they don't have any hiccups.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Heck, 500-600 people deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know that line's 30 minutes. You're in line for 30 minutes to get on the Skyliner. So, folks, plan ahead. Plan ahead. Epcot to Hollywood Studios. How long do you think it takes?
Epcot to Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same station.
No. Epcot all the way.
Oh, no, it's not, because it's at the International Gateway. That's right.
Yeah. So you're at International Gateway. You ride it. You're going through basically every station except for Pop.
Right.
You're transferring at Caribbean Beach. So you got to get off and transfer.
Okay. I got you.
To get the other line. So what do you think it takes?
I'm going to say like 12 minutes.
No, 20. About 20. Yeah. Well, I thought that was pretty reasonable if you think about it. Now you could do other forms of transportation. We'll talk about that later, or you could just hoof it and walk from Epcot to Hollywood Studios if you're really hating your life.
It's not that bad.
You're not going to catch me doing it, and you're not going to catch me running around Disney either. There's people that do that craziness too. Anyway, so yeah, Skyliner is a pretty effective method. Now, I will give a caveat. It is down usually the last 2 weeks of January every year. And they've kept that same maintenance schedule since it's been open.
Yep.
And so I think that that's pretty convenient for people to book around. But I will tell you this, the value resorts book up quick during those 2 weeks. And the reason being is because, you know, why pay for art or for Pop Century when you can basically get nearly the same room at the All-Star resorts. So that's why people are doing it, you know. And so, you know, those tend to book up quick. So
yeah.
just an FYI, that happened to me.
It is scheduled to be down when we go in January, but I'm hoping that they get done with the refurb kind of early. I looked in 3 times in the past. It's opened about 3 or 4 days early, so that's what I'm banking on. So
you might get there early, man.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be down Sunday, and then I get there Wednesday, and it's supposed to be back up on Sunday. So Sunday, the last day, the last full day that I'm there, it's supposed to be up and running. But that's a day I'm going to be from Pop to Magic Kingdom anyway, so I won't be using it. So, but I might have to jump on a ride somewhere.
Maybe you should ride it from Pop to Epcot, walk through Epcot, and go into Magic Kingdom.
Could do that.
On a monorail.
Take the monorail to Magic, yeah.
I've done that before.
Could do that.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
If you're just wasting time at Disney sometimes.
Yep. Nope.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
It would work. I was thinking of some way to get on it, you know. But yeah, that's a good idea. Can do that too.
Yeah. So, okay, we had the Skyliner. That was great.
Yep.
What about the water taxis? You ever taken the water taxis?
I take the water taxis all the time. I love the water taxis.
No, we're talking in particularly the water taxis that go from Hollywood Studios or from Epcot and in between.
Yep. I've taken
Lake.
Right. I've taken those. I've ridden those back and forth just to actually take a boat ride. I've taken the water taxis from Disney Springs to Port Orleans.
That's different.
Riverside and French Quarter.
It's not a water taxi.
What is it?
That's called the Sascagoula River Cruise.
Yeah, but it's a little taxi that goes from Disney Springs.
No, that's not. It's not the same, man. You'll never get to Epcot by the way.
What about the Magic Kingdom to Poly?
Those are different. Those are different.
Wilderness.
Those are different. I'm just messing with you. The Crescent Lake water taxis, yeah, they're you're going to Epcot, Swan, Dolphin,
Right.
Yacht Club, Beach Club, Boardwalk, and it makes all of those crazy stops,
Yep.
and Hollywood Studios. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like those boats. They're fun.
I do. And it actually does save you a lot of time if you can catch that at the Magic Kingdom. If you're going to Poly, you can avoid the monorail. It just shoots right across,
We're not getting into that yet.
right across the lagoon.
Man, listen to him. He's jumping ahead, folks.
That's a water taxi.
Gosh, man. Okay, there is one that goes across the Seven Seas Lagoon, folks. I didn't want to say it. I was trying to keep it a secret. There are ones that go across the Seven Seas Lagoon.
Not a secret.
You can avoid the crowds. It is a best kept Disney secret here.
Sorry to burst the bubble.
No, I'm just kidding. You got the ones that connect from Magic Kingdom to resorts like Contemporary, Wilderness Lodge, Poly, Grand Floridian, and Fort Wilderness. Okay.
Yep.
I've taken that one from Fort Wilderness to Magic Kingdom. And it was like raining. That was kind of interesting. It was the high seas on the Seven Seas Lagoon. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are cool. Those are cool boats.
Yep.
They're cool looking. They're fun. They're not your average just ferry boat,
And they're usually not crowded. That's the other thing. There's never really,
there's usually, they're usually full, but they're not like, you're not staying on top of people. Unless it's at the end of the night at Magic Kingdom.
Right.
And people are trying to escape and trying to, catch those Ubers and stuff like that over at Poly, or Contemporary or something. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Those are cool. The water taxis. Also, honorable mention is the friendship boats. Same thing, same taxis, but they just go back and forth across the World Showcase Lagoon there.
Yep.
Those are fun. If you don't really feel like walking from, the head of World Showcase, it goes all the way over to Italy, I think where else does it drop off? Does it drop off at Germany too, or somewhere like that? There's another place. There's two places it drops off.
On the other side?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. I thought it was just Italy.
It used to drop off two different places.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Anyway, friendship boats, they're fun. If you want to save some steps.
Yeah. Well, my favorite one is the one that goes from Disney Springs to Port Orleans.
Okay.
It's a little bit longer if you're looking to kill some time, get on the boat,
So that's the Pascagoula River Cruise.
It is. Yeah. And it goes right up. It goes passes, obviously you can see Disney Springs at the beginning. You pass through the resort. You go through the Lake Buena Vista golf course. It's nice. It's really relaxing. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes. And it brings you all the way up. It stops at French Quarter first, and then goes all the way up to Riverside, and then turns around and again makes the stops coming back. So that's a great boat ride. I like taking.
Yeah, it's a separate water taxi. You'll never get to Magic Kingdom from there.
Right.
Just to let you know, some people might say, "Well, you said, Chris, you can get on that boat and you could ride that river," and well, no, you can't. You can't get to Magic Kingdom from there. Okay.
You cannot get to Magic Kingdom from Lake Buena Vista.
Okay, but but that would be something, wouldn't it? It's a separate water taxi route, connects Disney, like you said, Disney Springs to nearby resorts like Saratoga, Oakey West, Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter. Now, when I stayed at Riverside, my kids thought that thing was the greatest thing ever.
Yep.
I think they're a little slow, but they're fun. At least late at night, they're fun. They're fun to ride. They will get you from point A to point B for sure. If you like to just kind of meander, excuse me. If you like to just kind of meander and ride, and you don't really care about your time, it's a fun, laid back ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And usually the staff on those boats, any of those taxis, are top notch. I
Oh
think.
yeah, no, they're pretty cool dudes.
Usually 99% of the time, and they care about their jobs. They care about the people that are on their boats, and
Yep.
they care. They want people to have a good time.
Yep.
What do you got next?
So let's bring up the walking path. It's actually not a transportation, but it's a way to get around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a few walking paths. There's obviously the Magic Kingdom, the Contemporary, like you said, that's a nice short one. Like you said, grabbing an Uber from Contemporary to bypass that time. That walkway is pretty cool. And same thing coming in too. You can take it from your resort. If you're going to take an Uber, go to the Contemporary, kind of beat the crowd, because the Contemporary walkway has its own security station off to the
That's
side.
right.
So you miss that whole crowd in front of the train station. You come in on the side, and you kind of beat that crowd. So that's a nice little another hack to getting into Magic Kingdom.
Right.
But one of the newest ones is the Magic Kingdom to Grand Floridian and Polynesian. That's a nice long one if you want to take a nice long walk. Have you done that? I haven't done that yet. That seems a little long. What is that? So they said about 3/4 of a mile?
I have no idea.
Something like that from the monorail station to.
I don't plan to walk.
No, me neither. But it looks nice. At night it's all lit up. So that's another option. And then the other one, like you mentioned before, is the one that goes from Boardwalk and the Yacht and Beach Club to Hollywood Studios. That's another one that goes along that river. That's not as long, but that's still a good 15-minute walk. I did do that once, and yeah, it's a little long. I'd rather take the boat. But
You acted here a few minutes ago. You acted like that was no big deal.
What's that?
That walk, that long walk from Hollywood to Epcot. You thought?
It's a 15-minute walk. If you're doing it during the day, it's not a big deal. At the end of the night, if I'm getting out of the parks and I need to get to my resort,
heck no.
Hell no, I'm not doing that.
There's also the crazy long walking path from the back of Fantasmic all the way to the front of the park, man.
Yeah.
That's about a trek of a walk. Golly, what about a mile? It seems like it's probably not that far, but it seems like it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The walking paths are good, but let's say you drove your car. Say you drove your car to the world's largest, one of the largest parking lot here in the United States. It may be the world's largest parking lot. I think it is, actually. It might be second world's largest parking lot. Can't remember. But and that is at Magic Kingdom. They got the trams. Okay.
Trams.
What's that?
I've always loved the trams.
The trams are a good time.
Trams.
At every park there's the trams. They got the trams to get you from your car all the way up to close to the front of the, to where you're going to get off and go through security. Not far, And so I always thought that those are good. And those people that drive those trams, they always try to. I think they pick people that are either delirious or they try to have a good attitude, because they're always making up something funny to say to people and things like that. And actually they make ride on a tram a good time. So I don't mind taking the tram if I drive to the park. It's good. It's saves you some steps, and it's fun. It's fun. You know,
Yeah, I like them.
The kids love it.
The drivers are usually pretty fun. Making it up. I was actually watching the video when we went last January, and actually remember that night when we closed out Magic Kingdom after midnight, and we took the tram back to your car. And I actually videoed when we left, the TDC all the way to the car stop, and it was actually pretty cool, listening to them talk and kind of goofing around with people. I think it was like 1:15 in the morning, and everybody's kind of like dead tired, and
Right.
the woman on the back was actually keeping everybody going. So it's a great time. They usually do a great job, and they're always fun. And I remember, when I was a kid going for the first time, we always, that was the biggest thing with me, my brother, my sister, was remembering, what section we were in, Minnie, Mickey, or, I know that they've changed over the years, but I always loved the trams. That was one of the things I always missed about bringing my car to the parks, as opposed to, taking the buses. You don't really get the tram experience with the, when you're taking the bus.
Right.
Or an
I mean, I
Uber.
guess you could get out there and they just drop you off and ride it back. If you really are looking for some,
Yeah, you could just do a loop.
looking for a good time, I guess you could.
Exactly.
So a lot of times they'll say this is the last ride. This is your last ride of the day.
Yep.
Just being funny.
Yeah.
Last free Disney attraction. They say it's the only free Disney attraction or something like that. Those guys are crazy out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to those tram operators. They're a good time. They're a good time.
Yep.
That only leaves two left, Chris. One is the ferry boat.
Yep.
Actually, we haven't talked about three. We got three left. And okay, so we got the ferry boat that takes you just across the Seven Seas Lagoon. Mm-hmm. Not a big deal. You're getting on at the TTC. It's going to take you all the way across to the Magic Kingdom, drop you off, and go back and forth. Okay, folks, there's nothing to it. It's fun to ride. But they, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, they load that baby down.
Swamped.
You can't stir the cats with a stick on that thing, man. There's there'll be 1,000 people on one of those. I don't know what the capacity is, but those things are just crazy, man.
Is that a Midwestern expression?
No, I don't know.
Can't stir the cats.
Can't stir the cats with a stick. I literally made that up.
I've never heard that. Oh, you just made it up?
Yeah, I literally
that's probably why I've never heard it. I thought it was like some Indiana thing.
No. But anyway, it's crazy, man. It can be absolutely crazy on that thing. And people get. Man, I'll tell you. Let me tell you this story real quick. There was one night it was storming. I mean, like we're talking about severe thunderstorm, tornadoes in the area. We were in a microburst. Okay, if you know what a microburst is, it's just crazy winds and stuff like that. And we're standing out on the dock to get on this thing, right? And everything's blowing away and blowing around. And there's people jumping the fence to jump onto the ferry. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And people handing their kids over, to put them on the ferry and stuff, dude. It was crazy.
Crazy.
Anyway, so my two kids, 5 years old at the time, you know what they're doing? Guess what they're doing? Yep.
Sleeping.
They're in their stroller, snug, sleeping. One of us threw our rain poncho over the stroller, and I think it was actually my wife. She threw her rain poncho. She was the tribute on that one, I think. And man, dude, I just kept pushing the stroller. My shoes were full of water. Everything was full, and I just kept pushing it. Man, it was rough, but they were all snug in there, and they were just asleep and didn't know what happened. It was crazy.
Yep.
So, yeah, ferry boats, crazy time,
Yeah, I'm not.
crazy.
I'm not a big fan of them just because of how crowded they do get.
Yeah, they are crazy.
I usually don't ride them. I can't remember the last time I rode one. I'd much rather take the monorail. It's quicker. It's
Yeah.
easier.
Speaking of the monorail,
Speaking of the monorail, like that segue.
I like that segue. Speaking of the monorail, that's one that no, I don't want to get there yet, just yet. We do have one more form of Disney transportation.
You do.
Yep, yep, we
What is
sure
that?
do. That is that is the train. We got the train, folks. The train will take you
Train.
around the Magic
All
Kingdom.
right. I missed that one. I didn't have that one on my list.
The train will take you all the way around the Magic Kingdom normally, but now that Big Thunder Mountain was under construction, they left it open during that. But now that we got the new Cars Land coming in, it's running in a what do they call that mode? It's like a taxi mode, basically. It goes back and forth, goes to Adventureland and back.
All right.
And so, yeah, but you can ride that train all the way around the Magic Kingdom most of the
Yep.
time. And so that's exciting. That's always fun. I love that train, man.
Yeah, no, that's a great ride in the middle of the day if you want to cool off a little bit. You
Yep.
want to, get off your feet for a half hour or so. Just ride the loop all the way around.
That's right.
But
Drop you off in, let's see, Adventureland, Frontierland,
fancy.
Big Top
Mhm.
over there, that area.
That's
And
it.
then at the
Main Street.
Main Street station. Yeah. So it's cool, man. It's fun time. Ride the train. Even if it's in B mode right now, just ride it, man. It's fun.
It's all temporary. It'll be
Yeah.
back.
It'll be back.
It'll definitely be back.
The train's a good time. But last but definitely not least, I'll let Chris started us off with the monorail.
Yeah, this is my favorite. It's always been since I was a kid. You remember back in the day when you could ride up front?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever do that?
No.
No,
I
did it.
always wanted to.
Yeah, I did it once. It was actually pretty cool. But yeah, they don't let you up front anymore. But yeah, the monorails. Believe it or not, all the times I had been to Disney, I had never ridden it from the TTC to Epcot. I had only ever done the monorail loop. And this past January when we were there, I was alone at one of the afternoons I was there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the monorail to Epcot and back. Just because I had never done it and I'd never been on the monorail going, in Epcot, going around, around Future World. I had never done that before. So that was actually kind of cool.
That is cool.
But yeah, I love the monorail. I know it gets a lot of bad raps, and I know they're old. I think what is those monorails are from '99, I believe, or '89. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know they're on their last legs, and they need to replenish, replace them. But it's one of my favorites. I just love I love being on those things. I like being up in the air, and it's pretty cool. And then going into the contemporary. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So I got some facts here about the monorail. Their trip times.
Trip times?
Yep.
Okay.
Trip times. So express monorail, if you take the express from TTC to Magic Kingdom, no stops in between, 10 minutes.
Okay, so let's go back because I was going to bring that up. So did you hear the new way that they're doing it now with the express? You didn't hear?
No.
So it came out this week. So the express monorail used to go counterclockwise from the TDC to Magic Kingdom, right? You used to go counterclockwise through the contemporary.
Yep.
It is now, it's not doing that anymore. The express is going the same direction as the regular. Everything is going to go clockwise now. So even the express is going to go, it's going to go from TDC to Poly to Grand Flow to Magic Kingdom. It's not going to stop, but it's going to go through
It's
that.
going to go through them.
Yeah, so everything's going to go clockwise, and they said they're doing that because I guess a couple of times the monorails are broken down, and it's a little bit easier to have them go backwards or to have them switch to tracks or something.
Right.
So that, I think, became effective this week, or they're starting it next week or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the new Express is going clockwise.
Okay.
Like the other
So
one.
if you take the Epcot monorail from TTC to Epcot, that's 15 minutes.
15. Yep.
Yep, that's the average.
Sounds about right.
If you take the Epcot monorail full round trip, all the way around, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the resort monorail, you got all of your stops, right? You're talking about, 20 to 40 minutes because it's making all those stops. Okay. And, that's, that could be valuable time in the parks, especially at the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So don't make the mistake and take the resort one in the morning. That might screw you up.
Right.
Or at the end of the day when all those resort folks are, jumping on there, that might screw you up too. But the monorail is a classic, man. It's like, it's classic Disney, right? I mean, started off at Disneyland, and now it's Magic Kingdom. It's at other parks too, and the monorail's cool. It's super cool. It was the ride in the sky, and I think it's so fun, to, like you said, to be high in the air above everything, and to see it. It was supposed to go to Swan and Dolphin too. Did you know that?
No.
They never built it the rest of the way out for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see them expand that at some point, but it doesn't sound like that's even on the horizon.
I'd like to see them expand the Skyliner.
Well, that's why I was going to kind of go with that too. That's a no-brainer. And you know what they have to do? They have to figure out a way to get the Skyliner to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
Have it come in on the west side.
Yeah. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Down near the House of Blues.
Yeah, if they had that Skyliner, just think of the load that would take off the buses. If they had a Skyliner, So, man, if it dropped you off at Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom, if it went all the way down to Magic Kingdom, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Wow, it'd be so much fun. Anyway, so Skyliner. So Chris.
Yeah.
I think you already said it, but what's your absolute favorite?
So I have a 1A and a 1B.
Okay.
What?
Let me stop you real quick.
What you got?
Honorable mention. I did not mention during the ride shares. We do have the minivans. The minivans do operate within the bubble, and they are about $50 to $150 a ride,
right,
depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
And so if you really want to painstakingly take a minivan from a park to a resort or resort to the airport or anywhere, you can choose that service, but it is not cheap. So
no.
just want to mention that.
And I just don't get it. It's just basically it's a red SUV with white polka dots on it, and you're paying a premium. It's just it just makes no sense. It's administered through Lyft. It's not Uber, but it's another rideshare. It's just an expensive. Yeah. It's an expensive rideshare.
I didn't mention it, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I had it on my list, so I just kind of skipped over it. So.
Okay. So what was your? I'm sorry, going back. Sorry to stop you. What is your absolute favorite?
So, like I said, I got a 1A and a 1B. So my 1A is the monorail, just because it's such an iconic, mode of transportation in Disney World. It goes back to, day one in 1971, and like you said, it came from Disneyland. And then my 1B, obviously, because it's much newer, and like I said, Pop Century is my home away from home. The Skyliner. I just have fun riding them. I enjoy riding them. If I could, if I have extra time, I'm jumping on one and, making a ride around and, kind of taking a ride to nowhere, on either of those, so those are my two favorites. I like them both, How about you? Where are you going?
Well, it hasn't been brought up yet tonight.
No.
My number one ride at Disney, and my number one form of Disney transportation is the scooter rental, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say you're one of those people.
Oh man, I could do a whole episode talking about the scooter rental people, but I digress. No, my favorite is probably the Skyliner, just because it's so dang cool. People. I hear people all the time, man. They'll complain about the Skyliner. They're like, "Oh, it's hot, and then you're up there, and I'm afraid of heights and all this stuff." Guys, folks, get that out of your mind.
That was one of the things that I was shocked.
Dude, if you've ever rode on a ski lift or anything, I mean, man, these things are highly, highly safe, highly technical. They have all of the. A lot of people don't know this, but they have all of the mechanisms to save your life inside those things. Inside, and they got a phone, they got cameras. Man, Disney's not going to let you die on the Skyliner unless, something absolutely catastrophic happens, right?
And even if you got stuck up there, there's nowhere on the Skyliner route where emergency vehicles can't get to you.
Right. It's going to be a mass casualty event if the Skyliner goes over or down or something, the cable snaps or something. But, folks, ride the Skyliner. Man, it's so fun. A lot of people don't like the way it swings and all that stuff. Nah. I've been on there in the storm. I've been on there all sorts of different situations. And the Skyliner is not a problem. It's a fun ride. I think it's another one of those things that, man, your kids are going to love it. Your family's going to love riding on it, and you get to see some parts of Disney that you wouldn't normally see.
Yeah, when they were building those things, I was kind of not upset, but I was kind of like, when I heard that they weren't putting ACs in there, I'm like, those things are going to roast in the summer. But when first time I rode it, it was hot, and I couldn't believe the breeze that comes through those vents.
Yeah,
and it actually
I think they're pretty cool. Yeah. And then my honorable mention, of course, is the monorail. I mean, it's the OG, right? It's classic. You can't fade the monorail. One day it will go down. One day they will get rid of it, and you'll just see concrete pillars and hanging out there somewhere around Seven Seas Lagoon. But yeah, monorail's super cool. Love that. And hopefully, I will tell you this. If you do do Uber or Lyft or something like that, you could have a pizza delivered. Since we're pizzas and park hops, just wanted to let you know, but not a cheese pizza. They only deliver meat pizzas, Chris.
Yeah.
Yep. I called ahead and told them, if you get a call from a guy named Chris Tatavi, only bring a meat pizza. Anyway, yeah. So this was a great episode. I think we covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, I think we hit everything. I don't think there's anything else that you could possibly.
I guess you could. I mean, I guess you could swim, but I don't suggest it.
Chopper.
Yeah, you probably won't make it. So anyway, it's been a great episode. And next week we're gonna be we got another episode coming up. Please like, subscribe. keep that content rolling. Tell your friends about us. We'd like to see those views on YouTube, and those Apple Podcasts just keep creeping up, and they keep creeping up, Chris. And we got to thank all of our fans for that, even ones that are travel agents. So we got a few fans that are travel agents that like to give us a little grief, but because we're a little biased that we can plan things on our own sometimes. But anyway, but we love Disney, and we love all those people. But anyway, I'm Brandon, and this is Chris, and we're Pizzas and Park Hops. And we really thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, find us on the interwebs. We're out there. All right. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
See you next week.